Hello everybody, my name's Nicola and welcome back to my channel. I blog over at thefrugalcottage.com all about budgeting, money saving, investing and lots of things in between. And today's video, because it's the start of a new month, is all about my cash envelope system and what we're going to be living off for the first week in March. Don't forget to like and subscribe and let's get started. So if you're not new here, then you'll know that I use the cash envelope budgeting method for our variable expenses. This is my little setup. As always, I will link this down below in the description box. But this is what we're going to live on for this week. So I have 4 cash envelopes, and because it's the start of a new month, they are all empty. I've taken out all the money from them. I had a couple of £10 notes that have gone in my sinking fund categories, and I had some change that I've put in our change jar. You know, for those like moments where you need like a 50p or something, or a 20p, or you just need some change for something. That's kind of what that goes on, and actually I don't tend to track that as much, rightly or wrongly. But there you go, so 4 categories to fill, they're all empty. If you've not watched my March budget setup, I'll leave a link below to that. This is talking about our variable expenses, not our fixed ones. So let's get started. Also, this is going to make me sound really sad, I realise, in this mix of cash, I've got a new £20 note. So the new £20 notes came out this week, and can you see the difference? So, oh, it would help if I was in the right place on my camera. So the difference, they are quite a bit, they feel loads smaller, they are loads smaller actually when you hold them against that. In fact, they don't feel particularly different to the £10 note, so I've got to be careful with that. So I'm spending my older £20 notes today. Why is this just moving all the time? I had these in the sinking fund envelopes, but because the new £20 notes have come out, you now need to spend these. I can't remember what the deadline is. It's quite far away, but I thought, you know, I might as well just spend these sooner rather than later, so then I don't somehow forget to do it. So yes, a new £20 note in the mix there, which is quite exciting, I'm not going to lie, but that makes me sound really sad, so I'm going to stop talking about that now. So let's get started with the cash envelope. So the first cash envelope for me is the food cash envelope, and it's empty. Like I said, I like to start the start of a new month like with them all completely like new, like fresh, like with nothing in them. I know some people who do the cash envelope method like roll over what they've got left over, but that's not how I use ours. If that's how you use yours, then fine. I tend to, if I've got any notes left over, I put them in the sinking funds, and that's not very often, to be fair. I'm saying that like that happens all the time, it doesn't. These tend to be fairly empty by the end of the month. But anyway, so in the food budget this week, I'm going to put in £70 in there, I think. So 20, 40, 60, 70. I'm trying to eat more healthily and get out of some bad habits that I've kind of got into. But and I'm sure like everybody knows this, but it's really annoying that eating more healthy is much more expensive. And why can't I get in there? And so I'm finding that buying things that aren't like snacky things is more expensive. But I do need to eat a bit more healthily, so that's in there then. So that's weird because I've got both types of the £20 note in there. I don't know if you can see, the old ones are massive in comparison. I didn't realise just how much smaller the new ones would be. Anyway, so the £70 in the food budget envelope for this week. I'm hoping that, you know, I aim for an average of about £50–55, so that should do us, but we'll see. We are having pancakes for tea, as requested by my 4-year-old, which is fine by me because they're things, that's like a really like easy tea to do first of all, but it's also things like I've got everything that I need for those, including toppings, just in the cupboards. So that's quite an easy and cheap kind of meal to have if you're looking to kind of reduce your food budget and your whole family likes pancakes, and you know, put that in as one of your meals for the week because it's so cheap. You just need, you know, flour, eggs, bit of milk, and whatever toppings you like. but that's an easy meal to do. So the £70 there should really do us like more than do us this week. Petrol, so again Petrol's empty, they're all empty, I don't know why I keep saying that. And if you've watched my March budget, you'll know that I've now reduced my petrol like overall budget. I had increased it to £150, but then I've gone nowhere near it for the past 2 months. So I've now like reduced it again to £120. So for petrol this week, I'm going to put in £30, and that should do us. There we go. So £30 in, oh, the petrol envelope. What are you doing? There you go. So £30 in there. The past kind of, how many weeks, like 3 weeks maybe, I put £30 in then, and it's been like £22, 70, it's been like a really random number, so I've had quite a bit of change in there, but I've put £30 in anyway, and we'll see how that goes. There we go. The next one is miscellaneous. Now, was it yesterday or the day before, I dropped my teapot from about, I don't know, this distance from the table. Actually, you can't see it. It was about this far away from the side in the kitchen, and it was I just dropped it, and I was like, oh no, and then I thought it was fine. Now I have a teapot where it's like there's a little kind of like colander thing in the top. You put in loose tea and then a strainer inside the teapot, so you put your loose tea in there, and then it kind of, you know, makes tea like that way. Anyway, I thought it was fine, and I made a cup of tea like later on that night, and it just went everywhere, and there's a massive crack all around the bottom. So I've broken it, and it was really like, you know, when you don't really realise like how you've done something, but it doesn't seem that bad at the same. Like, it was so close to the kitchen side anyway, and I couldn't see anything at the time. I was like, oh phew, because I thought I'd have broken it straight away. And then yeah, so this crack now, because obviously it holds liquid, it is no longer functionable as a teapot. So, and the point of the story is that I'm going to have to, because I drink a lot of tea and I drink a lot of loose tea. I switched to loose tea quite a while ago because I'd read somewhere that there's quite a lot of plastic in tea bags, and obviously if you're kind of ingesting that, then that's not a good thing. And actually loose tea does taste better. But the point of my story is I now need to buy myself a new teapot because I've got all this loose tea and nothing to put it in, and plus I like my cups of tea. Typical British person, I suppose. So today in the miscellaneous budget envelope, I'm going to put £40 in there, which I don't normally put that much in there. £40 in there because I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to buy a replacement teapot when I go to Morrison's to do the food shop. They're getting more kind of easier to buy, the ones with like the strainer inside. So I'm hoping that I got the one that I broke from Sainsbury's, but I don't really go to Sainsbury's often, so I don't want to make like a specific trip to go and get that. That seems, yeah, doesn't seem like a good plan. Sainsbury's is like the other side of town to us, so would be a bit more petrol. So I'm hoping that Morrison's will have a teapot, and then we need the usual things, like we need like kitchen roll, I need shampoo and conditioner, so that all comes out of the miscellaneous envelope. And I will be much more careful when taking, do you know what I was doing? I was taking the teapot off the draining board. That's all I was doing. Anyway, moving on from the teapot. The final envelope is the children's envelope. If you're new here, we have 2 children, 2 boys. They're aged 4 and 2, so not particularly expensive at this stage. So their budget is £100 a month, and I'm going to put £20 in there this week. I might, because I'm finally feeling slightly better this morning, finally. I might take them to soft play on Wednesday maybe. See, because we all know that soft play is not a fun place to go for a grown-up, but it's like living the dream as a 2-year-old. So I've put £20 in the children's envelope for this week. Yeah, I think we might go, although if the weather's finally nicer, maybe we should go to the park and have a picnic. I'll see what the weather's like. Feels like it's rained for like weeks on end now, so if it's still raining stuff, we'll just go to soft play, but if not, might go to the park or go out for a little walk somewhere. But either way, I've put £20 in their envelope for the week, and we'll see how that goes. But they are my 4 cash envelopes for the first week in March. So there's £20 in the children's envelope, £40 in the miscellaneous envelope, £30 in the petrol envelope, and £70 in the food envelope. And that should give us more than enough of a kind of buffer, if you like, for this week's spending. I got slightly more out than usual, but that's probably because of the teapot thing. I'm annoyed by myself for that because it's such a simple thing to do. But obviously now that's going to cost me money to replace, and I'm the only one in our house that drinks tea really, so it's purely mine and purely my decision, but I cannot live with that one. So, do you use the cash envelope method? How is it going for you? Have you downloaded the budget planner? I'll leave a link below to that as well. But let me know how you're getting on, and as always, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you very soon.